How's it going, my peeps? Another pay-per-view has ended, and what that means, it is time for the No Way Out 2012 results/review. I'm gonna give you guys the full results, as well as give you my thoughts on the show. So, obviously, it started off with the pre-show, which was Brodus versus David Otunga, and a bunch of other filler promos hyping up the matches for the cards. But it all started off with, a promo backstage, where Abraham Washington was with Epico, Primo, and Rosa. And Epico and Primo were complaining to AEW that, hey, it's been 30 days, 30 days have passed since we lost the tag team championships to Kofi and R-Truth, and what that means is we're no longer entitled to our rematch clause. So they were complaining about that. And then AEW says, trust me, I waited all this time so you guys can shine tonight, because tonight there's a 4-way tag team match to determine the new number one contenders for the tag team championships. The match would involve Primo and Epico versus Tyson Kidd and Justin Gabriel versus Titus O'Neil and Darren Young and the Usos, and the winner, the winning tag team would move on and challenge the tag team champions. So then Primo and Epico calmed down, and yeah, that's it for that segment. And then you had a match, Brodus versus David Otunga. This was actually, I'd say, maybe a little bit longer than the usual Brodus versus David Otunga, but not by much. And most of the matchup, you had David Otunga working on Brodus' knee, since he did attack him. He did attack his leg on SmackDown, the SmackDown before the pay-per-view. And, after the SmackDown, before the pay-per-view, you had a backstage fallout video where David Otunga said Brodus wouldn't be able to dance because of what David Otunga did, although when Brodus came out, he danced pretty much the same as he always does. Anyways, the winner of the match ended up being Brodus, not by splash or anything like that. He won by countouts. I don't know why they went with that finish. But yeah, David Otunga just got out of the ring once Clay started getting the advantage, got out of the ring and just stood out there until the referee counted 10. So Brodus is your winner, but by countout though. And right after that, you have Josh Matthews backstage with John Cena. John Cena talks about, his match, his steel cage match tonight, and how either him or John Laurinaitis is gonna get fired, and how the face of the WWE is gonna change forever. They always say that in practically every pay-per-view or something like that. They always say, the face of the WWE might change forever today or something like that. But anyways, that's it. That's pretty much it for the pre-show. And then we start off the pay-per-view with the World Heavyweight Championship match. I was expecting maybe Christian versus Cody to start off the show, but no, it's the World Heavyweight Championship match. Sheamus comes out first, the champion, and then Dolph Ziggler comes out along with Vicky Guerrero. And it turns out to be a pretty great match between the two. I expected that. I think, a lot of us expected that. So it was a pretty damn good match. And one funny thing is, the crowd, by the way, the crowd for No Way Out was pretty great. They were pretty energetic, chanting and all that stuff. They were chanting, "Let's go Ziggler" during the match. And then, at some point on commentary, Jerry the King Lawler, he says, "Oh my god, hey, listen to this WWE universe." And then I'm like, I'm thinking, okay, he's gonna mention that, hey, they're chanting, "Let's go Ziggler." But no, he says, they're chanting, "Let's go Sheamus." So I'm like, it was like a facepalm moment. They don't want to acknowledge that, the fans are cheering for a heel. So yeah, and fans have been cheering for Ziggler since Raw. On Raw as well, they were cheering "Let's go Ziggler" when he was facing Christian. And tonight, when he's facing Sheamus, another top face, they're cheering for Ziggler. So anyways, great match. The end comes where Sheamus hits the white noise. That's the Celtic Cross for those of you who don't know. And then he hits the bro kick right after for the victory. So yeah, good match. Great match to start off the show with. Then you had a backstage segment. Vince McMahon and Johnny Ace. Johnny Ace, walks up to Vince McMahon. And he tells Vince McMahon, you should stay away from ringside since you already have a concussion, blah, blah, blah. Nothing really, relevant in this backstage segment. And then, probably the worst match of the night, the dumbest match of the night, I don't know why they put this on the card match. Santino versus Ricardo Rodriguez in a Tuxedo match. What a pointless match to make. Come on. They could have given us, a wrestling match, something else instead of this, this thing. So, tuxedo match, they both, they're wearing tuxedos. Ricardo wearing his normal, tuxedo, while Santino is wearing a gray tuxedo. It starts off with Ricardo ripping off, I think, the pocket of Santino's tuxedo, and then Santino does the same. And then, they start taking off each other's tuxedos and their shoes until, Santino wins and, takes off Ricardo's, tuxedo pants and shoes to reveal that Ricardo is wearing some Alberto Del Rio underwear. He has some, like, these white undies, this white underwear with, Del Rio's face on the back, so guess they're trying to embarrass Ricardo with these things. I mean, on Raw, it was Ricardo wearing a Justin Bieber shirt under his tuxedo, and this time he was wearing a Del Rio underwear, under his pants, which is kind of dumb because, if you look at it in a realistic way, like, why would Ricardo wear these Del Rio, undies if he knows he's going to compete in a tuxedo match? And he'd be embarrassed if somebody saw him in it. I don't know. Anyways, that's it for, that match, if you want to call it a match. And afterwards, you have an interview with CM Punk. It talks about tonight's match. And then you have AJ coming up to him, and she kisses him for good luck. Then Punk says luck is for losers, which he said a bunch of times in the past. And that's it for that segment. And then, a great match on the card. Cody versus Christian. This was a great match too. Sheamus versus Ziggler, and this match, two great matches. I guess this made up for the tuxedo match, I guess. So good match. And one cool spot in the match, Christian and Cody were outside, and Christian ran up the steel steps, jumped from the steel steps, and hit a tornado DDT on Cody on the outside onto the floor. And one thing I really liked in this match was the end of the match, which was pretty damn good. It was filled with reversals, and actually Cody kicked out of the kill switch, which surprised me. Although I don't like it when somebody kicks out, especially with Christian. It seems with Christian, when he's facing a top star, main event guy, or in this case, I guess a top mid-carder, he hits his finisher and the mid-carder kicks out. Well, he didn't kick out over the limit, so yeah, I'll give them that. But he did kick out at No Way Out. But whatever. Anyways, he hits the kill switch on Cody. Cody kicks out, and then he goes for the frog splash, but Cody gets his knees up, and then Cody goes for the beautiful disaster kick, or the disaster kick. I don't know if he still calls it the beautiful disaster since he's not using the dashing gimmick anymore. But he goes for his springboard kick. Christian dodges that, and then Cody goes for a back suplex, and Christian flips, backflips, and lands on his feet, goes for the kill switch. Cody pushes him off, and then Christian goes for a spear. Cody, I think, dodges that, but then when he turns around, Christian hits the spear. So it was a great ending sequence, and then obviously, Christian goes for the pinfall and gets the victory. And it was a great match. Definitely one of the better matches on the No Way Out card. And after that, you had the tag team match, the Fatal 4-Way tag team match for the #1 contendership. Primo and Epica versus Tyson Kidd, Justin Gabriel, Usos, Titus O'Neil, and Darren Young. And this was actually not bad. I actually liked this match. One cool spot in the match, something I thought was pretty damn cool. You had like everybody outside knocked out, on the floor, and then they started getting up, so something's gonna happen. Somebody's gonna jump, onto them from inside the ring. So the only two guys that weren't outside, were Tyson Kidd and Primo, and they were on the top turnbuckle. Primo on the turnbuckle and Tyson on the ropes. Tyson hits a Hurricane Rana from up the top turnbuckle and launches Primo onto all of the guys outside. Now that was freaking cool. That was pretty impressive by Tyson Kidd. Anyways, the match was the match ending. Who won the match was actually surprising to me. Well, kind of. They were my second pick. But, I thought initially that Primo and Epico would win after the promo they had, on the pre-show. But, actually, Darren Young and Titus O'Neil picked up the victory. The finish came where Darren Young was in the ring, and then AW, he just grabs Primo and throws him inside the ring. I'm thinking, okay, just throw him back so he can get the win. But Darren Young grabs Primo and hits his finisher on him, which is like a fireman's carry into a gutbuster. He goes for the pinfall, and Epico was about to save Primo, but AW grabbed Epico, by his leg and just pulled him away, pulled him back outside, so Darren Young got the pinfall. And then, Titus O'Neil and Darren Young celebrate. AW comes in the ring and starts celebrating with them. And then, Epico comes back in the ring and explains what happened to Primo, that, AW grabbed his foot and pulled him back and all that stuff. And, now he's celebrating with Titus O'Neil and Darren Young, who are now called the Primetime Players. And, they get mad. They start arguing with AW. I think they push him. And then Titus O'Neil and Darren Young start attacking Epico and Primo. And AW joins in on the party and starts stomping on Epico or Primo, or I think both of them. So yeah, AW turned on Epico and Primo. Now he's aligned with the Primetime Players. I think this is a much better fit than Epico and Primo with AW. I think Titus O'Neil and Darren Young is a much better choice. I mean, I find them more entertaining, and I don't know, they're just a better fit, especially because Epico and Primo already have a manager in Rosa, so it's kind of weird to have also AW as a manager. Yeah. So that what's cool about this is it actually gives the tag team division a storyline. So hopefully the tag team division, gets picks up. So yeah, pretty cool segment or match. I mean, and then after that you had Triple H coming out for his announcements. To talk about Brock Lesnar and Paul Heyman. Basically, to put it shortly here, he challenges Brock Lesnar to a match at SummerSlam one-on-one, says he likes to fight and Brock Lesnar likes to fight, so let's fight at SummerSlam. And that's basically it for that promo. I mean, yeah, he talked, a bunch of stuff, but that's, to put it, in a short way. And then you had Daniel Bryan backstage, and AJ comes up to him and says, despite what we've been through, blah, 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 she hasn't gotten over him, and she also kisses him good luck, and that's it. And then you have the Divas title match, Beth Phoenix versus Layla. Okay match, I guess. Nothing special. The thing is, the finish, though, was kind of anticlimactic. I mean, the finish just came out of nowhere. I didn't like the finish. It was like Beth Phoenix... Layla was on the turnbuckle in the corner, and then Beth Phoenix kind of hesitated on doing a running clothesline, and then I think Layla got off the corner and then just hit her neck breaker. I don't know, it was just a weird finish, not exactly a great match. And then this time you had Kane backstage, and now AJ comes up to him and also kisses him good luck. So she's kissed every single guy in the triple threat match good luck. So who's she gonna align herself with? And then you have Cara versus Hunico. Well, Hunico comes out first, so I'm thinking, okay, they're gonna have Ryback squash Hunico since, last time he squashed Camacho. So it makes sense, but no, they bring out Cara for a match. For the time they gave it, it was an okay match. It was a good match, but I mean, well, what's the point of this match? There's no real point, I guess. It's just, I guess, to get Cara in the card or fill up some time. And then the WWE title match, Kane versus Daniel Bryan versus CM Punk. And this was probably the best match of the night. It was a very entertaining match, very, very entertaining. I'd say the star of that match was Daniel Bryan. But all of them, all of them did some good work in the match. I was really entertained with this match. Like I said, initially I didn't want a three-way match between these guys, but this was actually pretty damn good. in the very beginning, Daniel Bryan and CM Punk kind of aligned themselves, and to take out Kane. They both started kicking Kane. CM Punk kicking Kane on, I guess, his left side, and Daniel Bryan kicking him on the right side. And the crowd would chant "yes, yes, yes" whenever they'd kick Kane. At some point, Daniel Bryan had both Kane on his knees and CM Punk on his knees, and then he would kick both of them, one by one, well, one after the other. So he'd give one kick to Kane, then one kick to CM Punk, one kick to Kane, one to CM Punk, one kick to Kane, CM Punk, and then one final kick to Daniel Kane's head. And then he tried to do the same to CM Punk, but CM Punk dodged that and hit a roll up. At some point, he also had Kane, and he had Daniel Bryan in the electric chair type position. So CM Punk hit his springboard clothesline onto Daniel Bryan, who was on Kane's shoulders. And it was just a good match overall, very good match. And the finish came where CM Punk hit the go to sleep onto Daniel Bryan. And then, he went for the pinfall. And then Kane pulled Daniel Bryan out of the ring so he doesn't get pinned by CM Punk. Then Kane gets in the ring. He goes for a choke slam. CM Punk counters that and goes for the go to sleep, but he can't pick Kane up. So then Kane goes for the choke slam and actually hits it on CM Punk. Goes for the pinfall, but CM Punk kicks out. They fight a tiny bit more, and then AJ comes running out. She gets on the apron, and right when she gets onto the apron, CM Punk kind of pushes Kane. He doesn't see AJ, but he pushes Kane towards the apron, and he bumps into AJ. AJ falls and just rolls out, rolls off the apron, and just basically falls. And then Kane is distracted for a slight moment there. He looks at AJ. Turns around, CM Punk, I guess, hits him with a kick to the head, and then hits the go to sleep for the 1 and 2 and 3. So CM Punk retains his championship once again, and after the match is over, Kane, once he gets up, he goes to pick up AJ just like on SmackDown. He picks her up and then walks with her to, I guess, back to the backstage area. And while he's walking away with her, the camera shows AJ's face while she's being carried by Kane, and she's smiling to CM Punk. So and the commentators pointed that out. So looks like she's using Kane, or not using Kane, but fooling him. And the one thing I didn't like though was the finish. I mean, after CM Punk hit the go to sleep on Daniel Bryan and Kane pulled him out of the ring, Daniel Bryan stayed out of the ring for a long time, and he stayed out of the match until the rest of the match. So I was thinking maybe Daniel Bryan was going to come back in at the last moment, just throw CM Punk out of the ring and steal his pinfall onto Kane and win the match. But no, CM Punk just hit the GTS, and Daniel Bryan, I guess, was still knocked out and got the pinfall. So, like I said, great match. And then after that, you finally had the main... Oh, no, you didn't have the main event. You had Ryback. Yeah, how could I forget that? You had Ryback versus 2 jobbers. I was initially thinking maybe they're going to have Ryback versus 3 jobbers this time, since he's been saying, feed me 3. So, you have 2 jobbers, they come out first and say they're going to main event WrestleMania, and they start singing about it. Then Ryback comes out, and you also have your typical, Goldberg chants. And I think actually the crowd was maybe booing Ryback, but I might have not have heard it right, but I think they were booing Ryback. I'm not too sure though. Hopefully not, because I like Ryback. So Ryback, typical squash match. He beats both of them with his finisher at the same time, and then says, "Feed me more, feed me 3." Actually, this time when he had them up for his finisher, he said, "Feed me more," and then hit his finisher. So yeah, he said feed me 3, and this time actually the commentators acknowledged that and said, hey, he's saying feed me 3, but he's been saying that for like 2 weeks now, or 3 weeks. So yeah. And then right after that, you had the main event. Obviously they showed a promo before to hype up the match. Big Show versus John Cena, and this was a great match. Just kidding, the match was pretty damn boring. I will say though, it kind of exceeded my expectation by a little bit, because I was expecting a very bad match. It wasn't very bad, but in my opinion it was bad. It was just boring. Whenever Big Show's really involved in that, the thing is, I hate the John Cena versus Big Show feuds. I don't like them, and I don't like their matches. Anyways, most of the matchup, Big Show dominates John Cena until the end, where John Cena kind of gets the advantage, picks up some momentum, and Big Show was about to win. The referee got knocked out. I don't remember how did he get knocked out again. I'm not too sure, but he got got taken out, and Big Show hit the knockout punch on John Cena while the referee was down. Both referees were down, by the way, because you had two referees, one in the ring and one outside the ring to open up the door if they want to get out. And the one outside was taken out by Johnny Ace, because at some point John Cena was gonna get out of the steel cage, by the door. So the referee opened up the door, but Johnny Ace stopped him, threw the referee onto the barricade, I think, and then closed the door. But then Vince McMahon came and he threw Johnny Ace and opened up the door, but then Johnny Ace pushed Vince McMahon face first onto the steel cage door. And yeah, anyways, Big Show hits the knockout punch. Both referees are down, so he can't get the pinfall. And then I think he tries to get out the steel cage, through the door. But then Brodus Clay comes out with a steel chair and, tells Big Show, come on out, and I'm gonna hit you with this chair. So Big Show hesitates. He doesn't get out from the door. Instead, he tries to get up, get outside by climbing up the cage. But Brodus Clay brings out like two mid-carders, like Alex Riley and somebody else. I don't remember who it was. It was Alex Riley and somebody else to stop the Big Show. They kind of climb up the cage, but Big Show pushes them off and they get knocked out, I guess. And then Jack Ryder comes out to a pretty decent pop, and he gets on the cage as well. But Big Show, who's in the cage, just punches Zack Ryder from in the cage, and Zack Ryder gets knocked out. And then finally Kofi Kingston comes out, and he climbs up the cage successfully while Big Show was at the top. And Big Show, tries to push Kofi Kingston away, but Kofi Kingston kicks him a bunch of times until Big Show falls inside the ring. And then eventually John Cena hits the AA on the Big Show, but the referees are still down, so he can't pin the Big Show. So eventually he starts, climbing up the cage to get out, and the Big Show starts crawling to get out of the steel cage door. And Johnny Ace, with a scratch, he tries to stop John Cena from climbing out the cage. He tries to hit him with the crutch, so John Cena stops at the top. But then Brodus Clay, who was guarding the steel cage door so Big Show doesn't get out, he goes over to Johnny Ace and just grabs him and holds on to him so John Cena can get out. And at some point it seems like Big Show and John Cena were both going to get out at the same time and it was going to be a draw. But no, John Cena gets out of the cage and lands feet first to the outside about 15 seconds or 20 seconds or something like that before the Big Show. So John Cena wins the match, and right after he wins the match, he sees Johnny Ace. He puts him up on his shoulders in the AA position, and then Vince McMahon is finally up. Vince McMahon grabs the microphone and tells Johnny Ace that he's fired. He says, "You're fired." And then John Cena hits the AA onto Johnny Ace on the announcer's table, breaking the announcer's table. And that's it for the show. John Cena celebrates, gets back in the steel cage, and that's it for the show. So really, overall, the show, I'd say there were like 3 out of 7 announced matches that were good or great. The tag team match wasn't announced, but that was good too. I would give this pay-per-view maybe a, I don't know, 6 out of 10. Yeah, so I think a 6 out of 10 is the right score for this, in my opinion. So anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you did, you can always click that like button. As always, thank you for watching, thank you for your support, and I'm out, guys. See ya.